podcast listeners, if you hear my voice right now, I need you to do something for me. I want you to take out your phone or on your computer, go to Apple Podcasts, search for Ask Your Oldhead podcast. You'll see my logo, my little picture, my little image there. Find the show. Please rate and write a review. It's a small thing, but it helps others find this work and find what I'm doing here. And it really, really matters, as small as that may seem. So if you could please do that before we get into the show, I would much appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Let's get into it. Peace. Peace. This is the Ask Your Oldhead podcast with Justice Rajee. I'm here with my guest, Sam Thompson. Sam,
what's up, man? What's going on? Just nice, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm alive on arrival, man. I'm out here.
That's good, here. Man. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you.
COVID streets, as they say. So I always like to start, man, give you a chance just anyone's or individuals, multiples, anybody you want to give some reverence or love and respect to.
Man, definitely, man. Want to, first and foremost, man, give some love to my moms, man. You know, she just celebrated her 68th birthday on Mother's Day. So big shout out to her. Also, my guy, Alan Bell, my other guy, David Ferguson, who just purchased the Geneva's building. Young Black entrepreneurs, man, moving Joe Brown's caramel corn in there and Hannah's. So that's dope, man. Kept that in the community. Also, man, just to everybody that's out doing their thing right now, learning how to adjust to the new normal and not allowing that to stop the hustle, man. I think that, more millionaires is made out of times like this than ever before. So shout out to everybody that's grinding it out right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you start can you give me a standard or principle, something that you do and how you try to move through the world?
Man, I try to, man, at all times, man, show integrity, man, and stand on my principles, man. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Not being easily swayed, what I believe in, I stand firm on. And just trying to kind of navigate the world, man, and treat people how I want to be treated, So that's the thing for me, man, is just, being confident in being myself and, moving accordingly, man, not allowing, I was never one to be swayed or peer pressured into stuff, man. And so it's a gift and a curse at times, man, because what my mind is on, that's what I'm about to do. and I kind of stick to that, man, but it works out for more good than bad for me. So
Indeed. So is there any particular stories or anything that has happened in your world, something that got you to understand that that's how you need to move for you?
Yeah, man. Growing up like a lot of guys, unfortunately did in my community, man, being raised by our mothers and then learning everything from our older cousins or from each other. I had an opportunity to see some of my friends make life-altering decisions. And I was always able to say, nah, man, I was Trey. I was Trey off of Boys in the Hood, man. Let me out, though. I and a couple times, man, that kept me from prison and death, man. So I learned probably about 16 years old, when you have a feeling and, it feel like, man, they about to be on some bull, I'm the one that's going to say, nah, man, I'll see y'all when y'all get back. And a couple times, man, some cats didn't come back for a few years. And so it let me know, hey, man, kind of listen to that inner part of you, man, and say, nah, man, I'm good. That's not saying that I ain't, make mistakes growing up, but I had a kind of good judge of, nah, man, that's kind of a little wild, bro. I'm not about to go do that with y'all, man. I'll be here when you get back, though.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a beautiful sentiment, because the idea, like, where you it can be easy to not listen to that voice that's like, hey, man, you might want to get out the car. And you're like, nah, I'm cool. It's like, not cool. You might need to get out the car.
Get out.
Like, yo, tell them, ain't nobody gonna shame you later for making a choice. You know what I mean? you couldn't live with. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
man, my friends kind of got that early. They knew what I was with and what I was not with. And so at a point, man, they know, man, don't even ask Sam. He ain't with it. If we about to go do this, man, let's go drop him off. Or, man, I get out and walk. Y'all be cool. And so I still kind of move. I still move that way now, man. So work for me.
All right. So, relationships broadly defined. What's something that you have learned now that maybe you did not do as well as a younger man?
Oh, man. I think that I've learned now to value relationships more, no matter what kind they are, because things just, man, this world is really fragile, man, and things, I think that our existence is just a blink, you know what I'm saying? And I think that I've had opportunities to where I didn't value certain relationships, or I didn't take advantage of growing certain relationships, and then those relationships, ended, or things happened to where they couldn't grow, and I couldn't go back on some things. So I think becoming older, I kind of, the importance of friendship, man, the importance of relationships in the community. When I was younger, I was the first one. Can we speak freely here, man?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was the one, man, to say fuck that about everything. You know what I'm saying? And it, jobs, I quit a job in a blink of an eye. I dip out. I would, burn bridges sometimes, man, because I didn't care, and I didn't think of that in the bigger picture. I was just living in the moment. And I think that once I had my son later in life, man, my son 35. So when I had my son, it kind of made me look at things differently and look at, like, the importance of relationships, the importance of building, because I always felt that, man, shit, I can do it myself, man. I don't need nobody. Mm-hmm. But, as I get older, I realize how much I do need, these relationships, both, all types.
Is something you touched on there is valuing them. Is there something that you try to do to demonstrate, like, how important a relationship is to you with people? Is there any actions that you do where you kind of let them know, like, hey, I care? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I think, kind of having the being the type of person I am, and having a, personality that I have, man, I try to kind of set the tone a lot of times in certain situations. And I've learned, to express how I feel, man, with people. If I love you, I'm going to tell you I love you. You know what I'm saying? If I appreciate you, I'm going to tell you I appreciate you. And I try to find, something that I appreciate in every relationship that I have. And I try my best to acknowledge that with people. Just a simple, man, I appreciate you, man. Good looking out on, just even in the role that you played in my life, man. In certain instances, I just try as much as possible to be like, hey, bro, good looking out. I appreciate, because all of these little things that happen and all these different relationships kind of form the person that you are. And I know, who I am today, even though it's still very much a work in progress. A lot of people have, sprinkled some things into me. So I think try to acknowledge, acknowledge the value that people hold to me. That's one thing. So that's, if it's me telling I love you, man, if it's me being there, it's being supportive. Somebody asked me to do something, I try my best to, be there for them, to be able to do that, because I know that a lot of stuff that I do, I need support myself. So I try to kind of reciprocate that with folks.
All right. Yeah, I think that one of the hard things about communicating within relationships when you're connected with people is folks have different ways that they want to be, like, acknowledged, and vice versa. Like, so you might be like, oh yeah, I brought that extra, them extra snacks with me because I want to let you know, I want your party to be great. And it'd be like, exactly. I just thought you was just bringing some snacks. I didn't really know that meant that you cared about me. It's like, well, yeah, I did. That's what it meant. You know what I'm saying? And
communicating that, because I think that a lot of times we do stuff and we be like, man, they don't get that I love them, or they don't get that I appreciate them. I did this, but kind of didn't, that could have, like you said, just bringing some snacks, man. I think, hey, man, he's coming to the party anyway. I thought you was going to bring something, but, it really, so just trying to communicate that with people and just be as open as possible, man. I think that's the one thing that, I've been working on over the last year, man, is just be as candid and open with folks, as I possibly can be.
Yeah. All right. So right now in your world, what's just something that's just really what's important to you right now? Like what's one of the most important things to you right now?
Oh, man, besides my family, man, my son, of course, is the most important thing. My mother and my sister and my nieces. I got a new nephew, too. So, young Trace, he's in the building.
Welcome to the world.
Oh, definitely family is very important to me, man. But I think right now with what's going on in the world with this COVID, no matter if you are a firm believer of what's going on and what people are saying, but what I do know is like, man, the world has changed right now. Don't know if it's changed permanently, but it's changed right now. And for me, man, like my mental health has been like the most important thing to me because, I had a lot of stuff going on, like right before this stuff happened. Mm-hmm. And so for all that to be put on hold and it be uncertain if it's going to happen, if it's never going to happen, if it's going to happen next year, the way that I, kind of take care of myself, is that field even going to open back up? You know what I'm saying? So just trying to stay as positive, man, and keep myself busy and keep myself in a mind space of understanding, man, no matter what's going on around me, I'm still here and I got action.
All right. Thank you. Well, that opens the door I wanted maybe we could pivot into, because, since I've known you, you do events and functions and, of all types. And I know this has heavily impacted, your business, and what you do. Like what, if there's stuff that you could share, what do you know right now about like what's the prospects of some of the type of activities that you've had on the board, happening? Like, is it?
Yeah, man. So I had actually invested, man. I had just, for years, I had told you a long time ago, man, I wanted to get into throwing concerts and putting together big shows, that type of stuff. That's been something that's been like my passion for a long time. And I was blessed to be able to, get into a situation financially to where I could, fully invest into something. And so, unfortunately, man, my first, biggest, and largest investment was to take place 2 weeks after they put the stay-at-home order. And so, when it initially happened on the 16th of March, it was up in Washington. Washington, first state to move. It was just supposed to go to the end of the month, and my show was going to be on the 4th. But as things, about 4 days in, I was like, this ain't happening. Yeah. So for that, it's right now having, a very significant sum of money just tied up and floating right now. Okay. So with no certainty of, it's kind of looking to see what they do with football. I think what happens with football will determine, what the whole stuff. Yeah, with the live entertainment, what that market will look like. So just right now, man, getting to a place where we was about 900 seats out away from being sold out, man. So I was already counting the money. And it was on the 4th. I already had a flight booked on the 6th with a check cleared. I was about to go do some wild shit, man. And so, man, that got put on halt. And then, so we changed the date. We didn't know, what this was going to look like. So we changed it to July 11th. Mm-hmm. And as we get closer to July 11th, man, we're not going to, it ain't going to happen then. So now is it, do we move it to the fall? Do we wait till next year? Are they still going to be available? So it's just a lot of stuff that like completely out of my control. So, so, so for me, man, I just don't know what or when the live entertainment and that stuff is going to be back open. I'm pretty sure we're probably about a couple month or two away from bars and clubs and stuff like that being back available. But being in situations where it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people in one space, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like.
All right. Yeah, because when it was all happening, I was thinking about it, like, oh man, Sam's joint.
Man, it was right there.
I was like, that's my man. Oh, I was like, damn, I've got to find a way, man. That that can still happen. And I don't know if I think, as we're starting to open back up, I think hook or crook, kind of like, I think stuff's gonna just start happening again, and folks are gonna assume the risk, so to speak.
Yeah, man, I think, and so I was having this conversation with a couple of my partners the other day, because we're actually, my birthday is in 2 weeks, so
yeah,
we're actually gonna slide down to Phoenix, man. Phoenix is wide open, so we're like, man, yeah, let's go to the clubs is open. Let's go kick it, man. We're gonna see what happens, man. We're gonna figure it out if we part of that 85, 90%, man.
Yeah.
But I just think, we're to that point. Especially as being Americans, man, we ain't never had to just sit down like this. And my thing was, man, I knew that once the white folks got tired of sitting in the house, man, stuff was gonna start changing. Yeah. And that's starting to happen. They tired of sitting in the house. So I think at some point, like you said, people gonna take a chance, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to this, but I ain't gonna go to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take this weekend at a closed resort type deal versus, you know what I'm saying, because I just think it's hard for people to stick to any new pattern, even especially after sort of the peril, like it's coming, like it's like, all right, well, it came, I'm watching it, and then
people
it's like
they're like, okay, I'll take my chances, man. And so I think, that's the part. And I just think, it's a blessing to be in Oregon, honestly, just with, in terms of the healthcare system we have, man, in comparison to the rest of the country. We only, and it's not only, it's very unfortunate to people that lost their lives, to this virus and this new disease, man. But in comparison, man, we had less than 150 deaths,
Yeah. We had a fast response, that was like, chill out and lounge, and hopefully the impact won't be so bad. And I think that has contributed to, our situation, and but also I think it's contributed to folks, like, put it like this. What was it the other day? It wasn't was it the 15th, right? It was like, sort of stuff is open, like, or certain stores, or these kind. Basically, I went outside that afternoon to ride over to our other place to do some work, and it was noticeably more people driving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they was going, but it was
So when I took my flight to California, the stewardess, man, a flight 13 people, man, on the 747 Boeing, man, 13 people. I ain't never had that much space.
Wow.
Ever. But she came, and I asked her, because I was sitting I had the whole emergency row, both sides. I was sitting with my legs across, because they can't serve you they can't serve you no food. You don't get no drink. You don't get nothing. So you really can, the aisle is, ain't nobody going up and down the aisle. So I talked to her and I said, has it ever been like this? She said, yeah, like right after 9/11, people stopped flying. And she said, it looked like this. And she said, but you'll see gradually, as you go outside, there's more cars. Because I remember the first, like right after it happened, I was going out to get a haircut, like the last day stuff was open. And I got from Marshall High School, which is Southeast Portland, to Classic Men, which is on Canyon Road. I got there in 16 minutes. Like, wasn't
nobody.
Yeah, that's how it was riding around in the 90s. You could get everywhere in 10, 15 minutes. But now I'm starting to see traffic and all this other stuff. But the Caucasian delegation has had enough. They are tired. They are tired of sitting in the house, and they are out. Man, did you see them in the Ozarks? Did you see that?
I don't know. No, I don't think I saw that one specifically.
Google Lake Party Ozarks. Man, they were in the lake, 10,000 deep, having a pool party of their life, man. They're over it. We're over it.
Whew. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Ultimately, it's human nature. I don't think you can. I think it's only so long you can convince people, like, nah, look, really, you should stay at the crib. Like, unless you are already, if you're already sort of attuned to, like, I don't really want to be around a whole lot of people anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you can kind of go, hey, y'all go ahead. But if you somebody that really, like, you want to be out or you enjoy being out, which is nothing wrong with that, eventually you're going to be like, you can start itching.
Let's wiggle.
You're going to hear a song come on, you're going to start shaking your shoulders. You'll be like, oh, man, I can't really shake my shoulders in here by myself.
Nah, man,
I got to go shake with some other people.
By yourself.
The crib, I'm shaking. Oh, man. So that's what's up. Well, as these develop, man, anything I could do in my small slice of the world to be like, go to my man Sam's show. It's out here. You know what I'm saying?
This thing just nice. When the world opened up, man, I'm coming out this joint like Don King, fam. I'm having everything going on, man. Everything that there is to do for us, I am throwing it. I'm telling you, it's going down every day. I think I might just have a 24-hour party, man. 8 a.m. to 8 a.m., man. Come any time of the day, man. We kicking.
You jump in, you got like a pass, you just stamp in. Like, I'm going to come in now, I'm going to be back. I'm going to go and take a nap.
Man, we going to have the brunch for you, man. We got the midday vibes, fourth meal on the late night, man. It's going down.
Heard up. Well, I think, too, I mean, on the, and actually we can pivot this because as someone that has done events and activity, like things for people for over the years, I wanted to ask you, is there something like, there's something from your experience that you could share with people, to think about if they want to be and be creating events or doing activities? What's something that you've learned, like a nugget or something that you want to put people on to think about?
Man, I got into putting together events, man, out of necessity. I had moved to Indiana in 2003. My guy Freddie Jones, when he was playing with the Pacers, I moved out there, man, initially trying to do some hoop stuff, but then got caught up in just being young and partying. And so we were listening to the radio, and the radio was talking about this event that the Pacers were going to be at. They had said Freddie's name on the radio and all this other stuff. And so we went to the event. When we got to the event, man, they made us pay. So I was like, hold on. I'm like, Fred, he's like, no, I don't know the people. I said, well, they said you was going to be here and they charged you. I know at least I can get you to really be there. So, that's how I got into parties and then just transition to coming back home and doing it. So anybody that's interested in it, man, I think, man, just go for it. It's not, it's really not as complex as kind of people make it to be, man. Create a product, create something that people would be interested in. Make sure that you provide an environment, that is safe and, fun. And I think the biggest thing that's worked for me over the years, because I've had events go amazingly and I've had some not go well at all. And I think the one thing is just building relationships with people that come, speaking to everybody, going through and saying thank you for coming through and I appreciate you. And those things that I've done over the years and then consistently putting together good quality stuff, people will support you, And so I just, like I said, man, pre-COVID, man, I had just really gotten to my groove over the last 2-3 years with nothing missing, So, but that was just over time. I've been putting together stuff. This is year 17 of putting together things. But I just say, man, if you think about something, you have a thought, do it. Just put it together, connect with people. It's other people, it's okay to split up the pie. It's actually the best thing to split up the pie instead of trying to keep it all for yourself. So kind of ingrain yourself with some people that's doing things that you want to do and just go for it.
Yeah, because I think, I've made some of your events over the years. I always have a good time, the time that I'm there. And but I think a part of like the culture of any city, is the entertainment and like what can I do if I want to go dance with, to either a certain type of music or at least be enveloped by a certain type of people. And if somebody don't steward that, it could be like,
especially here, we want to go somewhere and see ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've actually been really blessed, man, to be able to build, my next level stuff into a place that people trust it and they come out and support it. So I've been supported, greatly over the years. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Mm.
But shit, it wasn't always like that.
Generally, do you think, I think that as things start to open back up or whatever we call it, people are going to want to go out. People want to go have experiences. Do you think for you, the type of experiences you do, you might do some new kind of things to adapt to the new space, what may be the new space, at least for a time?
Yeah, I think you'll have to, I think you'll have to, just in terms of, because it's going to be, so I know, I was really contemplating, man, creating a little underground social club, man, during this stuff, because people really, really are antsy to go do stuff, man. It's a lot of people like myself that are going crazy sitting in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be conscious about the health of others, about, because there's so many unknowns with this virus that we don't know what's true. We don't know what's not true. We don't know, because they don't know. Mm-hmm. So we don't know if it's as bad as they say it is. We don't know if it's not. We don't know if it's worse. We don't know if it's not, so
mm-hmm.
I think you have to kind of make those adjustments. And so, like, a lady just emailed me today and asking about getting a refund from the show because we rescheduled it. And so it hasn't been canceled. So, we weren't, entitled to or obligated to give refunds. But if people want they change back, we'll definitely do that. But she was just like, I just don't know if I ever am going to be around big crowds of people like that again. Because it's, and then me on the other hand, like, I'm out. I don't care. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Out. Shoot. So I think you're going to definitely have to, but I don't know, what the club, are people going to be coming out wearing masks? Are we taking temperature checks at the door? Which to me kind of doesn't make sense because they said that 35% of the people with it don't got nothing. So somebody could come in there with no feet, so it just don't make, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like what some of the things that we have as, prescriptive, like things to do may not even still be things that'll
exactly
protect people,
Yeah. So I think that's a big piece because you don't want to, you don't want to be the person that put something together and 75 people then left and got sick and 3 died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that you just try to make the adjustments. But I truthfully believe, man, that, things gonna be back rolling how things was rolling. I think this is just our thing for our lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our little, our jam up, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Everybody, every every other generation goes through it. Because you just think about the people in how 1918, 1919 felt. You know what I'm saying? When they didn't have TV, they didn't have the media like we do, and 50 million people died of the Spanish flu. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah, it's almost hard to concentrate.
You can't even rationalize that, man. We're not even at a million deaths worldwide right now. And they have 50 million. That's unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? So, but you look at, man, the 20s were some of the most exciting times in America,
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll get back to roll.
Word. So, one pivot, because I've talked to you for years. I mean, for those that don't know, Sam is an accomplished basketball player. Is that fair?
I was all right, man.
You was all right? I'm gonna say you was accomplished. You better than me.
Man, I wasn't gonna fuck the run up.
I mean, I've had the good pleasure of playing in some pickup games with Sam. It's fun times, especially if he's on your team.
A couple buckets, man.
I mean, but I saw, and I think the 80s since the 80s piece.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me like what's the story on that?
Oh man, so I was up at Madison, which is the Marshall campus now. I was up there and was giving the students their cap and gowns, and I got to talking. I was on my phone, and I was looking at the ESPN 74 list, which they totally disrespected Kobe Bryant and had him at 9. I don't even know how on earth you can even call yourself anything, whatever. But I was looking at that, and I was like, man, it'd be dope because we're at home and everybody has time and everybody is bored. And the most thing that gets us excited, especially, African-American men at a high rate, is the barbershop talk about basketball, about what would have happened if Wilt played Shaq and if Kobe and Jordan met in their prime, and could Oscar Robertson play now, and all that stuff is the conversations that we always have. But even more so, you have those conversations locally. You talk about, what would have happened if Terrence Jones played the Jeff 2000 team, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, man, because I think one thing that I've been trying really hard to do is get kind of interactive with the things that I'm doing, because this might be the new normal, right, for a while, and get more creative. And so I was like, man, what if we did like a virtual fantasy tournament where we like identified the top 100 players in the last 40 years. So since 1980, so the last 40 years, get 80 guys since 1980. I mean, identify 100 guys and then break that down into 16 teams of 5, and then just do an online tournament, like where you would have an opportunity where, say, Brandon Brooks is one of the greatest high school basketball players Portland ever seen. And through, got injured and wasn't able to go to the league. And he was a no-brainer. He was going to the NBA, right? He got hurt. And so you always have those debates of what would have happened if Brandon Brooks played Terrell Brandon. It's people that are pro Terrell Brandon, who I think is the greatest basketball player ever to come from Portland. But Brandon was up in that conversation for a long time. So what would happen if they met up? Mm-hmm. And so with that idea, man, I ended up reaching out to some people, some basketball guys in the city. They were like, hell yeah, bro, this is exciting. And from there, it just really got to rolling, man. Damon Stoudemire came on board, which is, I think the second best basketball player, very close, 1B, to Terrell Brandon. Aaron Miles, Mike Lee, Mike James, Andrew Andrews, Richard Forson, Deloney, the Broadus brothers, Kanan Chapman. Everybody just kind of jumped on it. We started sharing it with the players. Freddie Jones came on and drafted 2 teams. So it's really picked up some steam, man. We just started the games today. The tournament started today with 4 games today. We'll do 4 more tomorrow. And it's just exciting, man. It's something to get us debating. And, we sat and we actually coming up, we did a draft like this on Zoom, recorded it. So we're going to edit all that stuff and get it out to the people. So, yeah, it's been cool.
Man, well, I was excited about it because, I've told you, I feel like the story of Portland basketball, I think there's a story that the rest of the country would be like, oh, like, because not being from here, growing up somewhere else, I remember like hearing about Portland stuff and being like, man, I wonder what the hell they doing in Portland. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then later, you get older, you see, like, it seems like something to me that is very, not just important, like, ooh, other people would be curious. I think people here would enjoy reading and looking at, really like reliving and reflecting on the story of like local basketball. I feel like it's meaningful to a lot of folks here, and therefore,
Definitely. And this is the basketball city. If you think about the per capita and the rate of people that we have, especially African American people, and you think about how many guys not only got out of Portland, but played at a high level of basketball. And then the ones that didn't make it. That story, I just actually got an inbox from a guy today that said man, basically thank you. Because I forgot about a lot of these dudes. And now it's bringing up conversations that me and my friends are having, remembering when Keith Jackson and Curtis Machine Gun Penny was the backcourt at Jeff in 84. And, so that's something that is actually is in the works. Myself, Mike Lee, Damon, and a couple other cats are going to try to, get this story of Portland basketball out, if not just to anybody, just for ourselves. Because and you've talked to me about this a lot of times, and I think that us getting hit with the reset button and have to sit on our ass for a while created a space to where, man, I literally was on a Zoom call. We did the draft lottery on Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
Jet's taking he's taking the ping pong balls out the hat, man. He's drawing names. You know what I'm saying? And on that call, man, was Damon Stoudemire, Freddie Jones, Aaron Miles, Mike Lee, Andrew Andrews, Mike James, Richard Forson, Tony Broadus, James Broadus, Kanan Chapman, Chris Foss, like real basketball people. And we was done with the draft lottery in like 20 minutes. And man, we stayed on that joint for 4 hours. Just talking hoop. Just talking hoop. And for us, man, that watched Damon Stoudemire grow, man, he sat and talked to us, man, for like 3-4 hours. It was dope. And then we did it again Saturday. Another 3-4 hours just talking Portland basketball. It was crazy. Yeah. So, but if this doesn't happen, if the COVID doesn't happen, if we're not all stuck in the house, we wouldn't have been, nobody would have been accessible to even sit and have those type of conversations.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of take advantage of this time and kind of build some Portland stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like, sometimes when there's tragedy or disruption, it can makes you stop, right? So when you stop, you gotta assess and look around and what am I doing? But then I think, I was I hosted a Zoom call for like more just a community connection space, at least 2, and they turned into 3-hour, 4-hour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who's talking next, right? Because there's that pent up energy, and I would think, I imagine the stuff y'all shared in those spaces was probably a lot of like just amazing stuff about this city and about this area.
Like privy to information. So like for Rich, man, Rich seen everybody. He saw the play in the 70s. He saw everybody playing the 80s, the 90s, up until now, just his insight. And then, having Damon and Deloney and Kane and them talk about, there was a point in where Portland City Schools won every state championship in the state from 85 to 91. They won every year, except for 87, and Grant lost in the championship in 87. But so just talking about that time of sports here, and it was dope, man. It was dope.
What's for folks that are watching or sharing or looking along, how can people get involved with just tracking it? I mean, I'm gonna definitely share it in my meager space, but how can other people get sort of engaged with what you're doing on it?
Yeah, so like I said, the tournament is gonna run for the whole week, so it'll be started today, and the championship will be Sunday. So they can go on the 80 cents 80 cents, not like cents is SINE 80. That's the name of the page on IG and Twitter. You can take polls. We're doing voting polls, 24-hour voting polls for each game on there. You could go through. Man, it's very detailed. We went through all 100 guys, put their pictures up, all of their accolades and accomplishments. Then once we broke it down from 100 to 80, we put all of the 16 teams up with each guy. Now we have the matchups with, each person on the team, so they can vote on there. All of the dudes that are still currently playing are on, and they're voting and tweeting and, going for that. And then we have an 80 cents 80 pick your 5 page group on a group on Facebook.
Okay.
It's all 80 cents 80. And you can vote on all 3 of those platforms. Yeah, so it's going, man.
I'm gonna get in there, man. You know,
Check it out. See some stuff like, man, see how cold Charles McKinney was, man. You know, and
yeah, I mean, I got to. I think right when I first was at SEI and Charles was there.
yeah.
I think like once I got to see him play, but it was sort of like people were like, oh man, like they was giving me the like, oh man, you should have.
By then, 40.
Right. They was giving me. You should have seen it. Should have seen it when it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Then
49 now, man. So that was 12 years ago. 11, 12 years ago. He was 30. Yeah, he was 38, 39 by then. 37, 38. But, you know, like with the draft, man, just going through and we did everybody with their first 2 rounds of picks. Like, why'd you pick them? You know, and just hearing some stories about some guys that we didn't know about or, you know, that are, or the hood legends. You know, we had some dudes that went in the first round that never played basketball after high school, you know, and why. So it was dope, man. And we'll be releasing all that content over the next week.
Word. Yeah, I think that's going to be. I just think it's beautiful for the. I think it's good for any community to take hold of their stories, and you know, even if it, you know, in whatever ways you get there, you know what I mean. And there's lots of stories to be told, but I think that there's, especially with the amount of young people here who at least I see who aspire to be basketball players, even if, you know, it ain't gonna work out, or what my man did the camps at FBI.
Mr. Boy?
Yeah, when he talk about it's a fantasy, like
yeah, and high school basketball is reality, college is a dream, the NBA is a fantasy, man.
Fantasy. You know what I'm saying? About the dudes, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm trying, you know, I ball. And I'll be like, okay. And I'll be like, I don't know, brother. Might not work out if you trying to live off that, but it's still something important to me, I think, to get folks like get in tune with, like, yo, know these people, connect with them, ask the stories,
ask some questions, and the accessibility. Like I said, man, we were on that. You know, I looked up to Damon Stoudemire, man. Like him and Terrell Brandon was everything to us, and just to be able to sit and have that conversation, man. And he gave everybody his phone number, and you know, now we texting and talking about putting some stuff together, and like, wow, if this wasn't, you know, if this moment, if we weren't in hit with the reset button and had to sit on our butt right now, this wouldn't have happened. And I think it's a momentum that we can take going forward to kind of, like you said, you know, because I don't think Portland realized how many dudes went and made livings playing basketball. You know, we knew about the NBA, but there's dudes that played 10, 15 years overseas making really, really good money for a long time. And, you know, that's doable. Like, you can do that. You know? So.
Yeah, you know, go make a move and then you come back, you know, or
exactly.
go wherever you go. Cool things, man.
You know, because easy to get out of school and come get you a $35,000, $40,000 job, man. Why don't you go make that same $50,000 in Argentina playing basketball? You know what I'm saying?
Right, so, man. Yeah. If you could be so fortunate, when's the last time you played some basketball? Because I know,
man, just nice, man. I had just started a 30 and over. Open gym, man. We had played that Thursday before the Monday shutdown. And I was borderline killing just as I hooped. Bro, you know, I just started taking my health a little serious.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I was jumping and scared to land. So I was looking like you know, deer's prance.
Yeah.
When they come down, one foot hit first and then the other one. All gently. That's how I was shooting jumpers and landing. That's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, bro, I ain't trying to rupture nothing.
Hey,
I ain't jumped in 3 years.
Yeah, you got to ease into this. Hey, I can't. Well, you know, I do martial arts and other little bit of stuff, but I was like as a part of it, I really would like to just have a nice pickup run. I ain't been in a nice pickup run in a minute.
I'm get back going. I'm gonna invite you. We was playing the HB League 30 and up, man. It was cool.
Well, then, you know, you gotta give me a 2-week prep so I can.
Man, listen, man,
I can oil my Achilles up, man. I gotta oil them up.
You doing Brazilian Olympic style martial arts, man? What you talking about, bro? You limber? What's it called? Kakarama?
Capoeira.
Capoeira.
I'm saying I got to ease into it though. It's different. You got to sprint. I think maybe last summer I did like half a pickup game with some of the folks with the BMA. And we just because they took some of the young people, and I was like, all right, man, let me like run around this court for like 20 minutes and like get everything warmed up, and then I'm gonna jump in. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get in and get some, because it's like all I can think of is that you've seen it in TV when the NBA player is a little older, he's running, and it's like the sniper get him. Yeah, I don't want to be that.
Calf, that Achilles is out of here. That's the only thing I'm scared of, man.
Yeah, so that's what's up. But I enjoy the game, and I know you do. With and I think, like I said, at some point, I'm gonna have to get sweaty around other people. I'm doing the best I can, to just be with us. But at some point, you got to go do martial arts, and you got to touch other people.
Yes, sir.
Man, so we getting close to some time. As I like to say, I want to save some for later because I want to have you back to have more conversation.
I would love, definitely.
So I want to get you out on this. What do you think is a good landing place for me to ask you this last question?
Either what, movies or music?
Yeah, movies and music.
Music.
All right. Can you share with me maybe a record or a song that you felt, that when you listen to it now, you don't feel about it the way maybe you felt about it, let's say, when you was a younger man or 10 or 20 years ago?
Oh, it didn't age well? Or a different perspective on it?
Yeah, just your position has changed,
Oh, sheesh. Anything with R. Kelly, man. Anything with R. Kelly, fam. I didn't know what he was talking about, bro. I wasn't. Seemed like you're ready. I could have swore you was ready. Man, listening to that with 40-year-old ears as opposed to 13-year-old ears and knowing what kind of wild freak he was, man.
Yeah.
Already aged well for me, man. Honey love, man. He's peeing on people, fam. It's really wild, man. So that's that.
Yeah,
Robert did not age well, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy because like when I first really got to read something that was like detailed about his circumstance and what he may or may not have been doing, I was just like, I don't know if I can really
telling us.
Yeah.
He was literally telling us exactly what he was doing. It just sounded so beautifufully, man.
It's like, man, it's a cold cut. It's a cut, man.
It's a cut, man. But he is. Oh, goodness.
Start bogling on him. Start moving your shoulders.
Yes, man. So, yeah, that's that, man. And anything with Silk the Shocker, man. I loved Silk when I was young, bro. But he is awful. Awful rapper, man. But I love Silk when I was in high school, man. He wasn't never on beat.
Yeah, I tried to understand. I was like, maybe I'm missing something. The people were like, nah, man. I was like, all right, I guess it just ain't for
me. He did that clap like that. He clap it at he clap it in the middle of the clap. Everybody doing it, he doing that.
Yeah. Oh, damn, you killing me, man. So, I'm gonna say, with that, I'm gonna get ready to bring us to a close. Anything just for the good of the order, the good of the world, you want to share or say before we close?
Man, no, bro. I appreciate you having, man. Like you said, bro. Like I said, we've been talking about earlier, just to have an opportunity to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? For an hour and reconnect with you. I ain't seen you in almost a year. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope that we had this opportunity to get on here and talk and chop it up. And it's good to see you doing well and doing your thing with your podcast. Again, we was talking about this 2 years ago about you doing this, and now you're doing it. So I'm proud of you. I think this is dope. I appreciate you for having me on here, man. And I hope we can chop it up again soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that, I'm gonna say peace.
All right, bro.
Thank you for listening to the Ask Your Oldhead podcast. Thank you to my guest, Sam Thompson. I want to give a special shout out to Sam. Just letting him know, man, you know, it's wild out here, and I appreciate you for jumping on with me. And we just all got to stay connected, you know, wherever we at, wherever we sit, in the face of the things that we got in front of us. You can find the podcast everywhere podcasts are found for free. Just search it on Google, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify. We everywhere. So please add on and listen. You can find me at Justice Rajee, Justice as you spell Justice, Rajee, and on Instagram, on Twitter, I think various other places. That's Ask Your Oldhead Facebook page. You can get in there. I don't totally know, you know, I don't have a lot to talk about right now in that space, but I'm working on it. And most importantly, man, stay connected to the ones you love. Be safe. Please share this work. And, you know, try to stay connected, stay together. With that, I'm going to say peace.